All right, on this episode of the LPDS, we're talking about life hacks. All right, little things that we can do or people have been doing throughout their days and lives to make things just a little bit easier for them in the future going forward. And we're going to spread the good word on that and see if it can help you guys out. I'll talk about some of my life hacks that I do to make my time and my day a little bit simpler. Creating some simpler processes. We'll get into some fan feedback, and we'll have a good time doing it. We also got some current events going on. We got a nice little Cage fact to present to you guys. So all that coming up right now. All right, Jabronis, we're back. Welcome back to Libretti Podcast Diary Show. I'm your host, Libretti. Hope everybody had a good week. For the newcomers out there, welcome to the show. For the returning Jabronis, thanks for tuning back in. I just got back from a road trip. I was on for some work stuff over in Georgia, so that was a good time. A little hotel action. And that's just being on the road. Living in a hotel, eating like garbage. I did find this bar. I didn't find it. It was literally in the same parking lot as a hotel. So I'm not going to take credit for finding anything. But they had a peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon. And I ordered it. And if you this is again, first time tuning in, you don't know what the heck's going on over here. A couple years ago, I've been eating PB&J burgers for a long time now. I started several years ago after a marathon race I ran. The bar had the special Halloween burger, and we all went out to this bar and grill to celebrate the race or whatever, my friends and I. And they had this Halloween burger that had like a Reese's peanut butter cup on it. And I was like, well, I'm feeling crazy today. And I tried it, and it was awesome. It was a game changer, okay? So every time I see a peanut butter style burger anywhere, I try that. I try their version of it. And then when I was in the trenches of war in Virginia Beach a couple years ago, there was a bar that I used to go to every week that had that burger. So I used to have it there. I made it on Thanksgiving one year. Again, when I was in the trenches of warfare, when Creature and I had the Thanksgiving special, you could go back and tune into that little Zoom call we had. We made our own little meal. It was a nice little fun event. So every time I see one, I grab one. So there was this one at this bar and grill, this tap house, whatever you want to call it, that had this peanut butter and jelly burger. I had it. I was there for 3 nights. I had 3 PB&J burgers. I don't know what it is about me. I know I do this in general with food. I'll eat the same thing every day for a decade. But when it comes to these PB&J burgers, I'm eating it. Like there's nothing you can do to stop me from eating it unless you put poison in it and tell me about it. But if you haven't tried one, all I ask is that you forget about your initial thoughts and opinions of the food combination of beef and peanut butter. Okay? Just open your aperture up a little bit. I don't want to say open your mind because I don't want to assume you're closed-minded, but open your aperture a little bit. Be okay with something seemingly quirky and different and give it a shot. And I'm not guaranteeing you're going to like it, but I'm pretty confident you'll be pleasantly surprised by the combination and realize that it's not nearly as quirky and weird and bad as you thought it would be. I went out with a couple of folks from work, and they all tried it at one point or another throughout the week, and they all said the same thing. Like, I thought this was going to be terrible. It's not. It was really good. So I'm not saying if you don't like it, you're a fool, but if you don't try it, you can't have an opinion on it either. or you can't have a credible opinion. So give it a shot. Anyway, that's what I did this past week. I did that, I went to work and I did burger stuff. So there you go. Current events stuff. Got a couple of things to talk about here before we get into the Junction. The Junction, we're talking about life hacks. Okay, so the fans, you guys provided some stuff. We're going to talk about those things, make your life a little bit simpler, and then we'll have a good time with it. So current events first, though. There was a drone accident. They keep calling them drones. They're not drones. They're Reapers and Predators and unmanned aerial vehicles. That's what they really are. I don't know why it bothers me so much, but it's just annoying that people just, if they don't know something, it's not just with drones, it's the other words, like peruse. People use the word peruse incorrectly. They've been using it incorrectly for years to the point where they're going to start changing the definition of it because people are stupid. And that's what I have the problem with. Is not that we're trying to teach people, no, that's not the right word. They're just like, forget it. We'll just change the definition to appease the stupidity. That's what they're doing with this stuff, with drone and peruse. Peruse, by the way, means to examine thoroughly. Okay, to go through word by word or step by step thoroughly, all the way through to the end of something. Easy, Randy. I know you're getting angry. You're growling over there. And I get angry too about it. Peruse does not mean to scan or to go through flippantly or informally or whatever, just a quick peruse. No, it's not. Perusing is not quick. It's a full-on read-through, examination. So I don't know how people thought it meant the exact opposite of that, but that's how people use it. Anyway, there was a drone accident. Long story longer, there was a drone incident. A Russian fighter jet, I don't know if it was a Su-24, an Su-24, or what the exact jet model was. Don't think it was a MiG either. But anyway, he saw one of the U.S.'s unmanned aerial vehicles. I believe it was a Reaper, an MQ-9 Reaper. And he tried to pull some maneuver where he was going to dump gas on top of it or whatever to block its view. And he accidentally, the jet accidentally clipped the propeller of the unmanned aerial vehicle to the point where they had to crash land it on purpose and into the water and destroy it. I think the Russians are actually going to find it so they can try to reverse engineer it and see why we're better than them in the air. But the Russians tried to say that, first I think they tried to deny that they clipped it at all. And then they tried to say that they didn't see the aircraft, the UAV, the unmanned aerial vehicle. And then the U.S. put out the footage that we get from the vehicle, the plane itself, the MQ-9. It has a camera on it, a live camera. It's HD. It's pretty high quality. And you see the Russian jet, like it's clearly visible. It's clearly seeing, the pilot sees the Reaper, and then it starts flying towards it on purpose, and then it starts dumping gas on purpose. Okay, this isn't a movie where gas just starts dumping and then you had to abort the mission Indiana Jones style and sled down a random mountain hill. This is done on purpose to try to hit us with the fuel, hit the Reaper with the fuel, and then you see it hit the Reaper. You see it clip it, and they have split screen footage of the propeller before and the propeller after, where it's all bent and mangled and it can't fly anymore, and they had to put it down in the water. So even after the footage comes out, Russia's still denying any culpability in there. And this kind of goes to what we've been seeing for years now with the media and the government. It's the one thing you can count on with these people is that they're going to stick to their lie. Even when there's video proof, HD video proof of what happened in real life, these people, these government officials, these propagandists or whatever, they're just going to stick to the deny. That's what they're going to do, stick to the lie. So I guess props to Russia for not backing down and still sticking to the lie. That it's a very good, defense tactic, I guess. Play dumb long enough, you're just going to be thought of as dumb, and nobody will worry about it anymore. I don't know, but anyway, that's what happened in that story. Moving on. I saw a thing. Now, by the time this comes out, this will probably be either proven true or false, but apparently former President Donald Trump is supposed to be arrested this coming week, or by time this post, that this week when you're hearing this or watching this. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it has to do with the classified documents or the January 6th stuff or any sort of tax buffoonery going on. I mean, the guy's not a great guy. Okay. He has done illegal stuff. He's not a good guy. So throw a dart at the wall of things that he's probably done under the table that he can get busted with. What annoys me though is this same, how do I put this? This same unending, aggressive will to take this guy out is not being seen for all the criminal, government officials and congressmen and senators and presidents that have done crimes and continue to do crimes and be sleazy, and they're just getting away with it. That's my problem, is that because certain people and the media don't like the emperor, the prior emperor, the Orange Man, they're going to do everything in their power, legally and illegally, to take this guy down. And they're finding any sort of minor, major, semantic sort of offense that they can get on the books. Sort of how like they went after Al Capone. They didn't get him for murder or mafia stuff. They got him for like tax fraud, cooking the books, technicality, and that'll get him. That's what it seems like they're doing with this guy. They're not doing any of that for any of the other folks who recently got busted with classified information. Mike Pence, he's roaming free at his, weird gay internment camps that he's trying to send people to for secret gay. I think that's what it is. I think it's a camp to go be, like, for in the closet people to go be out of the closet comfortably. So he's doing that. Good to go. No problems. The current president, no issues with him. He's leaving classified all over the place. He's passing it out, thinking they're napkins. And no investigation on his, for him. So the hypocrisy is what bothers me. I'm not defending Donald Trump by any means. If he broke the law, get him. Anybody who breaks the law egregiously like that should be investigated and then brought to justice. Everybody who breaks the law should be investigated and brought to justice. Okay? There are still dozens and dozens of unnamed and protected child sex predators out there working in our own government and our media. They're bringing us the news, and they're also creating our laws. And mum's the word on that. No investigation, no aggressive pursuit and hunting down of these monsters. And that's my point of all this, is not defending him and not saying he's innocent, let him go, stop bothering him, you just don't like him because he's a conservative, blah, blah, blah. No. He's a bad guy. If he broke the law, get him. But that needs to go for everybody. You don't pick and choose based on your political beliefs and try to play the mental gymnastics to make it more justified that you go after that person and not the other person. Joe Biden should be investigated. Mike Pence should be investigated. All the congressmen and people who are on the Epstein list should be investigated. All the insider trading, all those congressmen and senators we discussed previously, they should be investigated. The media people that are on the hook for Epstein stuff should be investigated. or for libel and all the lies that they've been spreading. So it's a two-way street. It needs to be a two-way street, but there's a gross double standard going on, and that needs to stop all the way around. Anyway, before I get heated, we'll just move on. March Madness is going on. I don't know where we'll be by the time you listen to this in the current event section, but that's a fun time for people. If you like sports, if you like college basketball, it's the best time of the year, obviously, if you're a college basketball fan. There's always something fun going on. There's always some drama going on, too. So if you haven't started watching that, I would check it out. It's a good time to turn your brain off from the negativity and the mess and just watch athletic kids trying to compete and attain a goal. And there's something nice about watching that. There's something good and entertaining and satisfying. I don't want to use any other weird words to watch dudes and girls play college sports, but watching people who work their asses off for months, years on end to get good at this physical activity, and not just being strong and fast, but having a coordination, having the mindset to be successful at it, and they're working their asses off day in and day out to try to attain this goal of being champion, and then they have to go butt heads with the other teams to compete and see who prepared better, who did it better, who's going to win. And then you could see the emotion on people when they lose or when they do win. And that is the best and worst parts of working hard and seeing the fruits of your labor, or seeing it come so close and missing out on it. There's something to be said about the whole drama of it all, watching that unfold. It's, like I said, entertaining. It's cool to see these kids work their asses off to attain victory, and even get close to it, because it's something that I will never see. Like, I wish I can win the NCAA basketball tournament, be that skilled and that high of an athletic level. I'll never be there. But anyway, that was go watch March Madness. That's it. That's the ad for the day. Go watch March Madness. All right. Last thing here before we get into it. I saw an article about the Los Angeles Dodgers decided to continue for another year to pay the salary of one of their players. I think his last name is Tools or something, Tules or Toles. And seemingly it was like the article was, nothing to write home about as far as a big time dramatic story, but I did some digging, and this guy has not set foot on the field for the major league, for the MLB, for the Dodgers, for any of the minor league teams, anything. He hasn't played baseball since 2018, and the Dodgers continue every year to re-up a contract for him. And now it's not the $1 million player contract that you're used to, but he's getting a salary every year. Now, I don't like the Dodgers, okay? I think they're overrated. Every year, everyone says, the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. They're going to win 200 games, and they have the biggest market, so they're getting all the best players, and they're unstoppable. And then year in and year out, they stink it up in the playoffs. They crap the bed, and they're out of it. And that's that. That's the name of the Dodgers, okay? Now, you can make that argument for the Yankees as of late. I would argue that the Yankees have always stunk the last 10, 15 years, and they're just squeaking into the playoffs, and then they're getting rocked because they don't deserve to be there to begin with. This is coming as a Yankees fan, but the Dodgers pull out this whole fraudulent, like, this team is the best. ESPN says it. All the analysts say it, that the Dodgers are the best team every year in and year out. It's the Dodgers. Mookie Betts, Clayton Kershaw, whoever else. And then year in and year out, they blow it. They stink. And I don't consider that blowing. I just think they're not that good. I think they're overrated. I think the National League itself is usually a little bit overinflated. But anyway, so I don't like the Dodgers. So I wanted this story to be like something sleazy where they're paying this guy under the table and they finally got busted for it because he doesn't play anymore. No, it's not that. This guy I don't think he had a mental breakdown, but he's had serious mental health issues for quite some time now, to the point where I think he was at one point while he was playing still, he was like sleeping in the parking lot of the field because he either didn't have a home or couldn't go home or some weird stuff. And they found out he was like bipolar, schizophrenic, had depression, anxiety, a whole bunch of serious issues. And the Dodgers have been paying him his salary for the past several years so that he can continue to go to mental health facilities in inpatient treatment to get better. And I wanted to bring that up, this whole story up, because you don't see that level of care much at all anymore. I don't want to say anymore, but you don't see that stuff much at all. Okay, especially from big business type organizations like a baseball team. They're only, they care about profit and bottom line. Most corporations care about profit and bottom line. The government, military, they care about their geopolitical, issues and their bottom line. So when it comes to real legitimate efforts to help your people get better, whether it's in your company or team or family, most of the time it's a throwaway. It's a checkbox item. Hey, we'll give you some time off. We'll have the insurance cover some of your therapy and you'll go get better, and that'll be that. And if you're not better, we'll fire you because we have a bottom line. We have a business to run, and we can't be spending all your salary on you healing. We need that salary to go hire someone who's going to do the job you're supposed to be doing. So I want, it's a tough situation for businesses. But here's my thing with it all. People are always going to be the most important thing going for your business or organization or military unit or whatever. When it comes to your success, you need people. Okay? And you need people to be, healthy and motivated and skilled and ready to do the job that you want them to do. Okay? You need those people. Not to mention something that, again, businesses and organizations don't really seem to show that they care about is people are the most important thing. Like, that's what we do everything for. Our families, our loved ones, people. Okay? And that includes our health and wellness. Physically, mentally, emotionally. Your business wouldn't be anything without the people helping you get those profits that you're now chasing every year. We want growth. We want profit growth. We want this business growth, this and that. It's only because of the people on your teams creating that success in the first place so that you can go chase higher goals. And the goals usually end up being money. And then it ends up taking out the human element of it all, because all you care about as a boss or a leadership element is the bottom line. How can we get more bottom line? How can we get more profits, more money, more money? And you forget that it's because of the people. Now, the Dodgers here, this guy hasn't played since 2018. Okay? If you do quick math, that's 5 years. 5-ish years that he has not played a single inning for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, if it's been 5 years for any other organization, if it's 1 year, you're gone. I'm not going to pay you any money to do nothing for me. Now, I understand that. I understand the business angle of it is I'm paying you to do a job for me. Got it. But when it comes to physical and mental health, especially mental health, that takes precedent. I'm sorry to say that takes precedent. The health and wellness takes precedent over your bottom line and doing a job. And the Dodgers took that and sort of ran with it. And they're paying this guy's salary so that he can get treatment and not be on his ass living like a bum with no treatment. Now he becomes like the 90% of other bums going on, around the country right now. Mental health issues, no help, no ability to get help, nobody in their friends and family circle able to help them, and now they're on the streets, schizophrenic, talking to themselves, pissing in their pantses, and we all think they're a problem. That's how a lot of them get there, folks. So they're doing what they can to prevent that. They're okay with spending the money. I mean, it's a drop in the bucket for them. Really nothing salary-wise or budget-wise for the Dodgers to pay and continue to keep this guy's mental health treatments going. But still, the gesture and the fact that they're still doing it, they're not announcing it. It's not like they said, hey, we're doing it again. Come, give us likes and subscribe to our Instagram page and come watch our games and see how cool we are and great we are for doing this. They're just doing it. I saw this article from like Barstool Sports was talking about it. That's how I found out about it, because the Dodgers aren't publicizing this. They're just trying to get this guy help. And there's something to be said about that. And that's why I wanted to mention it. I think that's a real good thing. It's not happening enough in this country. It's certainly not happening enough in this world. But always remember that people are the most important thing. That's it. The people around you, the reason for your success and your happiness and your profits, usually the people around you are a large part of that. So I'm glad they're helping him try to get, continue to get the help that he needs to get. So hopefully he gets better soon. Anyway, all right. Now that we're down in the dumps here, we'll try to pick things up and get things going. So we'll step into the cage.
Okay, let's run.
All right. Today's Into the Cage segment is proudly sponsored by VitaShot Enemas. It's paramount you get your daily dose of vitamins every day, but sometimes you just don't have the ability to eat all the food necessary to get those nutrients. Well, with VitaShot, you won't have to worry anymore. VitaShot has all the necessary vitamins and minerals you need, all packaged up in an anus-friendly syringe, ready for you to inject yourself with a little shot of wellness. So to get your pack of VitaShots today, visit www.enamagnificent.com and use the promo code RectalRanger for 29% off your first pack. I think they come in a 7-pack. So it's like a weekly pack of enemas, and every morning you just fire that in there, and the nutrients right there into the system. It's quicker and more effective than orally taking in your vitamins. So think about it. Anyway, we need real sponsors. Okay, the Cage Fact. Nic Cage has been working on a movie for a little bit. I don't know if it's finished being filmed and is in post-production or what the status is necessarily with it. I think it's in post-production, but it's called Sympathy for the Devil, and it stars him and Joel Kinnaman. Now, if you don't know Joel Kinnaman, he was in the movie Suicide Squad. I think both of them. I don't remember if he was in the one with Will Smith, but he was certainly in the one with John Cena, and he was like the Captain Knauer or whatever. It wasn't Knauer. Knauer's from Longest Yard. I forgot what his name was in it, but he was the regular human that was going out there with the Suicide Squad anti-heroes to go take care of their missions and stuff like that. And they made this movie, and it was like whoever filmed it originally wasn't going to do anything with it, and then the company, I don't know what it stands for, RLJE Films, this week snatched up the rights to it so that it could be put out there for the world to see. I think US, parts of Europe, Canada, UK, Australia, so that it'll be out there basically worldwide. as opposed to being wherever it was, like a super independent, maybe one country situation. So they bought that up. What's interesting about that and why I'm excited is that we're gonna get to see the movie in the United States. It's coming out 28 July, I think, is what they projected it to be. So sometime in July, they said. So one, that's what I'm excited for. Number one. Number two is this is the same film company that put out the independent movie that Nic Cage was in called Mandy, which was a wildly successful movie for him. It was on the independent circuit, so not a lot of people saw it, but it won a bunch of awards. He was tremendous in it, and it for a very strange, weird movie, he did a great job. Shocker. The movie was very well filmed. The storyline, it was a weird storyline with like a weird cult kidnapping people and this and that. But the story did make sense. It was very well done. It was not like a Wicker Man where it could have been a good story and it just turned to Nic Cage dressing up like a grizzly bear and beating the shit out of women. This is not that movie. Mandy was great. Very super successful. I think it was in the 90s in Rotten Tomatoes. High 80s, low 90s, I think, maybe. So that's why I'm excited for that. So big spring, summer coming up for the great one. Coming off the last year's success that he had. He's got Renfield coming out in April. And he still continues to push hard to get Dracula, on the books and scripted and written so that he can play Dracula again later on. I think he's got one more movie coming. He's got a couple other movies he's currently filming that we discussed previously. I forgot their names off the top of my head. And then he's got now this movie, Sympathy for the Devil, supposedly coming out in July. So big things coming for the great one. And I'm very excited. I think I'm going to make the purchase to get Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, like on my Amazon or Stars or wherever it comes from, on my digital digital purchase, so I can just watch it all the time now. I don't know. We'll see about that. Anyway, that's the Cage Fact. We'll spin it on up into the Junction, get the logo going. Life hacks. I was thinking about this because last week, I was in my hotel on the road, setting up, doing some prep work so that the next day of work and life would go a little bit more smoothly and easier for me. And I was like, well, I wonder what other people are doing that I can adopt and put into my life to make to make things more efficient. And I want to caveat this because I saw some of the feedback I got from a fan. I don't know if it was a joke or not, but it was clearly stuff you do out of laziness. You'll see in a second. But I want to caveat that this is to make your life more efficient so that you're not spending as much time doing silly, mundane things, and you can focus your time and energy more on important things, like spending time with your family or with yourself, or enjoying things more, taking up a hobby, finding a passion, whatever. So that's why that was the intent behind it. I wasn't clear before, so I'm not too mad about some of these feedbacks. But anyway, we'll get right into it. I'll get some of the fans' feedbacks, and then I'll probably do a mixture of like discussing my tactics off of that, and then at the end, if I have any more life hacks I want to bring up, or if I remember, I'll let you know on that. So this first one here, this person says that what they like to do is they like to set one or two smaller goals per day that they can attain. So like making the bed, like today I'm going to make the bed and I'm going to take out all the garbage throughout the house that day. And what they do that for is it sets the precedent of something you can accomplish, each day. And then it gets you in that mindset of accomplishing goals, that success building mindset. And that's something we talk about a lot here, is building the muscle memory for a lot of things, discipline, motivation, all this other stuff. And this is another one. If you are constantly in a state of, setting a goal and accomplishing it, or finding a challenge and overcoming it, your brain, your comfort zone is going to be expanded. Your mindset is going to be shifted more towards, here's another goal I can accomplish, or here's another challenge I can overcome, as opposed to how am I ever going to accomplish this stuff or become successful or overcome these challenges and this and that. It's a simple flip of the switch a little bit. It's simple in concept. It's difficult to do. That's how a lot of things are, as we discussed previously. But it's a flip of the mindset, and that changes things drastically for you. Okay, when you can go from constantly thinking about how you can never accomplish your goals and you're always failing, you can't overcome shit, to confident that you can overcome anything and you'll accomplish all your goals, and you just know that no matter, throw it at me, I will knock it out of the park. Don't worry about it. Bring it on. Bring on the day. I'll make my bed. I'll do the dishes. I'll do that and that and that. So this is a sort of a life hack that this person uses to help make her mindset more positive and more success-driven and a goal accomplishment-driven than living in the negative and the woe is me and nothing's ever going to work out and I can't accomplish anything, I'm a failure kind of mindset. So it's not necessarily a physical thing as it is as a mental thing, and those are just as important. As you know, when we talk about the big three, it's mental health and wellness is just as important. So thank you for that. It's a great thing. I like to do that too. It's shocking how setting some seemingly simple goals in your life, like making your bed or washing all the dishes before you go to bed at that night, or folding your clothes, coming out of the dryer, whatever it is. Simple things. You stack those up 2, 3 in the beginning at a time. It's shocking how good you feel about doing those things, because they seem so mundane and nonsensical and little. And that's probably a big reason why we don't care about doing them on time or every day or, quickly and efficiently, because we're like, oh, it's just folding my clothes. I'll still wear them. They're still clothes, or my bed's still going to be there. It's not like I can't sleep in it if it's not made in the morning, things like that. But when you do this stuff and you look and you're like, man, I accomplished 6 things today that I otherwise wouldn't have done. I made my bed. I folded my laundry. I washed the dishes. I took the garbage out. All that crap done. Now it's not a problem in my life anymore until next week or whatever it is. Like little things. You'll be surprised how beneficial that is for your health and wellness mentally. So give it a shot. Thank you for that. Next one here is something I've done before and I like to do. It's this guy said prepare coffee the night before. Prepare your coffee maker. So if you have like one of those regular coffee makers with the filter and you put the coffee in that and then you get the water in there, and then in the morning you can hit the button, or some of the new age ones, you can schedule it ahead of time, almost like an alarm. You set it to start brewing at 6 a.m. and then at 6 a.m. hits and that thing turns on and starts brewing. Pretty cool to have if you're a big timer. But for us regulars out there, you can prepare the night before by putting the coffee and the filter and stuff in there and getting it cleaned out and ready to go. Because again, this is a little thing. When you are waking up in the morning, unless you're a morning person, which is absolutely psychotic in my opinion, but if you're not a morning person like the majority of us normals, you don't want to do anything in the morning, and you don't want to wake up even a second earlier than you have to do stuff before you go to work or start your day or whatever it is, take care of the kids, whatever. So you're getting up and you have to I have to go clean out the old filter. I got to wash it out, and then I got to put a new one in, and I got to get coffee, and then I just want to wake up and have my coffee ready so I can actually get woken up and start the day and not be, so miserable. So if you do that the night before, take the extra 30 seconds the night before as opposed to the extra miserable minute to 2 minutes doing it in the morning, you'll feel much better. You'll be able to wake up, you hit the button, and it's already brewing. You don't have to do anything else, and you can go get dressed and focus on something else as opposed to that little step. And that's a little thing, but that stuff adds up, okay? Additionally, this guy also put meal prepping. And he wrote specifically, tonight's dinner is tomorrow's lunch. Now, I know a lot of people don't like leftovers for some crazy reason. That's got to be a first world, like, American thing, the not liking leftovers. Because every day I learn more and more people that I know in my life are not leftover types. It's crazy to me because that's free food. Like, that's food you either got for free from your parents or you already paid for it. Why would you not want to have that food? Now, there are some people like the creature who he doesn't do leftovers because he eats his food. Like, he makes a meal and he eats it and it's gone. It's not like he's throwing out old food. He's eating it all. He's taking it all in. So he's not wasteful at all. He just doesn't like leftovers because he wants to eat it all in one shot. So got it. Good for him. I can't do that. I'm just a little guy. I'm a weakling, but I'll have a lot of leftovers. So I'm all about it, but I'm shocked to hear that so many people don't like leftovers. And they'll just, if they have, even if it's like 2 meals worth of food left over from a dinner that they made, gone. See ya, garbage. Never eating it again. Crazy to me. Anyway, this person says tonight's dinner is tomorrow's lunch. So now the next day, not only does his coffee ready to go earlier, his lunch is made. He doesn't have to make a lunch for him or his kids or whatever, or his family. He can wake up a little bit later or spend more time with his kids in the morning or helping his wife do whatever she wants to, needs help with or wants help with. If, I don't want to make it sound like she doesn't, she needs help with everything. She's an adult. But now he can spend more time focused on more important things like that as opposed to making his PB&J sandwiches and making his coffee and all that stuff. And those are little things that are huge, especially in the morning when you're in shambles and you don't want to even be awake. So I like to do meal prep in super bulk where I make stuff for the week. Because I'll eat leftovers. I'll eat anything that doesn't have active mold on it that it shouldn't be there. Like a blue cheese, I know it's moldy cheese. I'll eat blue cheese, no problem. But anything else that doesn't have mold on it, I'm eating. I don't care. So I'll make bulk, like chicken, in the slow cooker. And this is an argument. I'll get to it in a second. This is an argument against the meal prep, but I make it in the slow cooker. And then I have that for dinner, for the whole entire week, a whole bunch of chicken breasts, and I can heat up vegetables. I'll make vegetables that, the weekend, or I just buy the frozen vegetables and you just microwave because I'm just cooking for myself, so I can microwave it and call it a day. And I have chicken and vegetables every day for dinner for the whole week. And it takes, the slow cooker, set it and forget it. So that's one of the arguments against meal prepping is like, it takes so much time during your Sunday. That time could be spent with your family or doing other weekend things that you can't do during the week because of the work day. Yes, you're absolutely right. My simple life hack for that is, to be able to meal prep, but also have that time on the weekend, again, back to myself, instead of having to work. Slow cooker. You throw it in there, put it on for 4 to 6 hours. You don't have to touch it until the thing beeps and turns off on its own. And you can make things in bulk. Now, it's a little harder for a family because that bulk becomes obviously smaller. I can make one crock pot of chicken breasts, and I have dinner each night for at least a week with that. That's not the same if you have a family of two, if there's two of you, 3, 4, whatever. I understand that. So it might take a little longer. You might have to double crock pot, which I've seen people do that as well. But the crock pot saves a lot of time in that regard because you dump a whole bunch of ingredients in there. They have a bunch of recipe books. One of them I think is called Set It and Forget It, like 500 recipes. One of my old roommates had one, and that's what we did. We would just close our eyes, flipped through the pages, and whatever we landed on, that's what we made, and we had it for a couple days straight. We just throw pork chop in there, chicken, meat, what have you, some little accoutrement, fixins, put the lid on it, and it was good to go. So something to think about for your meal preppers who don't want to waste all day prepping meals and putting Tupperwares and this and that and all that other stuff. I get it. It's annoying. I used to do that a little bit where I had 6 Tupperwares per lunch for work, and it was exhausting and annoying. So that's a little hack for you. So thanks for that feedback there. All right. This person right here said that they were getting paid by their neighbor to walk their dog every day while she was pregnant. So she recently had a kid. Congratulations. Everybody looks happy and healthy, so that's awesome. But while she was during her pregnancy, obviously, and as this is just, I can imagine, but it seems like you're probably tired and physically drained a lot more often when you're pregnant than when you're not pregnant. You got a human being inside of you growing, so you got to deal with that, and your back's always hurting, and you got extra weight on you because there's a human inside of you, and you got to eat more, and everything gets more difficult, okay? And you deal with other stuff too. There's complications that some people have from it. There's swelling. There's this. So there's a lot of shit goes on with women when they get pregnant that is not desirable, and they have to endure that shit. And she was saying how she was just tired overall the time because she has a kid, plus she was pregnant, so things are just double tough. But her getting paid by the neighbor to go walk the dog every day was guaranteeing her exercise, and she said that was a complete game changer for her, was getting out there and exercising, getting that movement in every day, part of the big 3, really changed the game for her, because she said she would have been even more miserable if she wasn't doing that. So her life hack is find a way to get paid to exercise, or find that sort of accountability buddy to get you exercising every day. Because even something as simple as walking a dog, like we mention all the time, something as simple as going for a walk is going to make you feel better. And you can check off the accomplishment box for the day. This is something I did. So now I'm succeeding at tasks. I'm following the big 3. All good things. Everything's happening. I got more time for everything good is happening just by doing something like that. So, excuse me. Thank you for that feedback. All right, here we go. This guy gave 5 different life hacks that he does that I'll let you be the judge on whether they're for efficiency or laziness or what. But the first one is, he said he stopped shaving and it just grew a beard. Now, he's not wrong here. That's the reason I don't shave right now when I don't have to, and I grow this beard out a little bit, because it cuts down a lot of time shaving. It also irritates my skin. Shaving all the time wears me out, having to do it every day. It's stupid. It gives me a rash all the time. I cut myself constantly. So now that I don't have to do it, I only have to shave once a month, maybe once every 2 months for National Guard duty. It's definitely cuts down the time. Now I have even a couple minutes extra a day to not have to worry about that. And I can go, heal my face skin and spend that time doing other things like hanging out with the dog or whatever, reading. I also know that this guy was in the military for 20-plus-year career. So when you go over 20 years of having to shave every day, the first thing you're going to do when you retire is not shave. Just grow that beard out. So good on him for that. That's more so the reason why I think he did it, but he probably realized he's saving a lot of time and effort not having to shave. So number 2 for him was... This was an interesting one because you could take this a couple ways. So he said, take a hat or something that you wear pretty regularly or that people have seen you out and about in life wearing. So for guys, a lot of times it's hats. Girls, maybe it's a long sleeve shirt or a jacket or blouse or what have you. Something spare, like a spare hat or a spare blouse, and a set of keys that you don't really use every day. It's not like your car keys or anything, but a set of keys that you can even buy keys at Home Depot or whatever and put them on a key ring. And put those at your desk at work. Then you leave with your own car keys. And when people walk by your desk at work, they see your jacket there, your keys are there, like, oh, this person's obviously here working, their computer's locked, it's not off, so they're out and about doing something, working hard, and nobody's going to ask any questions, really. Now, what he added to this was, now you can go and focus on other things that are important in your day, like grocery shopping for the family, doing other errands that need to be done, having medical appointments, or if you want to go take an extended power nap, you could do that. So again, this could be used twofold. It can be used for laziness, so you can avoid work and go take naps and play video games and be a bum, or you can actually go get other stuff done that you need to do for your family and your personal, the nest, back home at the nest. I got to go grocery shopping. My kid's got a soccer game, a play, a doctor's appointment, whatever, important stuff like that. You can get that done when you're not doing work. Now, here's the thing too. And this leads into his one of his other life hacks, but you work 8 hours a day. That's what we're supposed to work, 8 hours a day. 40 hours a week is a full-time job. You're not doing 8 hours of work each day, every day, all the time. If somebody is saying that they're doing that, they're a liar, or they don't have a realistic grasp of exactly what they're physically doing each hour of each day. Most of the time, what we do is we get a task to do at work, and we have it up on our computer, and we're slowly going through it randomly throughout the day or the week. And when we're not talking to our friends or having lunch breaks and this and that, we'll pop back to it and work on it a little bit. Then we'll go take a coffee break or a smoke break. Or go check email or read your Yahoo or MSN articles that pop up. You'll deal with personal stuff, personal calls. You talk to the wife or the husband, set up doctor's appointments, the kids' stuff, whatever it is. You keep coming back to it. You're not actually doing the work, 8 hours of actual productive work every day, all day. So you have a lot of extra time on your hands. So this life hack could theoretically help you utilize that time better. So instead of having to jam in your weekends up with grocery shopping and all this other crap and not having time to spend with the family or doing other stuff, you can knock that out by doing the old hat jacket trick at your desk, taking care of the grocery shopping, checking those boxes off. So now your weekend's open to do more important things for your life. Got it. Or you could be a bum and go take a nap. Either way. So good life hack. The third one here, and this is not so much it's a life hack, but it's a realization that people should be having more so than not, but there's also a fine line to it too, so we'll get into that. He said, stop giving a shit about what other people think of you, other people's opinions of you. And I agree wholeheartedly. What you want to make sure you don't do with this, though, is you don't want that to be like your reason for not getting help or not changing for the better or improving yourself. Okay? You can't use that as your excuse to be a piece of garbage. If everybody's telling you, if your spouse, your boss, your peers, your friends, everybody in your life is telling you, hey, your attitude is garbage, it's this and that, you're being this, you're being that, you have to change, you have to do something different. If they're all telling you the same thing and it's not good, you cannot respectfully use the I don't care about your opinion thing. Okay? What this guy is trying to say here is that you really shouldn't care about what the haters are saying about you for the most part. Like most of the time, people are going to have their opinions on you personally. They're going to gossip, talk shit, especially on the internet when everyone's a tough guy on there. Like, stop. Don't let that get to you. Don't stop caring about that. Stop doing things in your regular daily lives because you're worried about what others think of you, like how you're going to dress, what you're going to say to people, what kind of like hobbies you have, things like that. One thing that really grinds my gears that my parents do, really crazy. Carol, unfortunately, I know she's going to be mad about that, but when people come over the house, my parents' house, for any reason whatsoever, it can be like her best friend, my aunt. She's not my real aunt. She's my, my aunt, uncle, best friends from childhood, whatever. Relatives who come over for any reason. Hey, I'm in the neighborhood, or I'm gonna hang out. We're gonna have lunch or whatever. She will put out all the accoutrement, again, using that's a big buzzword today, to make it look like we are living the high life. We're high society living, tablecloths, all the fine china. She'll take, when you're having coffee, she'll take the cream and pour it into a little cream pitcher and then put the pitcher out on the table as opposed to just a container of cream that you buy at the grocery store. Everything. No paper plates, no paper napkins, no nothing. Like, everything has to be high society living. Everything gets cleaned up and changed so that we can look like, we're living the high life. We're successful and rich and this and that. And I hate it mainly because our house will be our house. Like, my parents' house will be wherever stuff is, that's where it is. And when I was bumming it there, I had my work stuff out on a table because I was doing work. And I had to go somewhere. And she found out, their friends from college are coming by real quick to say hi. Like, drive by, say hi. I get back from like getting gas or something, and I come back and my stuff's gone. I don't know where it is because nobody told me where it was. Come to find out later that it was stuffed in a corner in some room, just literally thrown in the corner because we didn't want the friends to look and see that there was stuff on the dining room table or wherever the table was. The table had to be clean and looked like it was never used before. So that stuff really grinds my gears because I know she's doing it just to look a certain way for her friends. She never does it when my brother and I come over and my sister comes over. Doesn't care how the house looks. But for her friends, it's the status thing. So long story short, long story longer, this is what this guy's getting at with this life hack is stop doing things and adjusting your life just because of what you fear other people may think about you. Okay? It is not a get out of jail free card to go be a piece of human garbage and be like, well, I don't care what you think, so I'm going to continue being a piece of human garbage. That's not what it's for. That's not what he's saying here. Anyway, the next life hack here, he said, under promise, over deliver. Now, again, this could be taken a couple ways, based on his lengthy explanation of what he said in the full comment, and you can see that on Facebook, on the Facebook post on the Libretti Podcast Diary Show page. The jury is still out on whether he uses this life hack to be lazy or to prove value and worth and show success in his business and his career or whatever. Because he said, like, hey, again, you're not working a full 8 hours a day. When you get a task at work, it's not going to take you a week to do for most tasks. So under promise, over deliver really means let them know, hey, I'll get this to you in 2 weeks and then give it to them in a week, because it's not going to take 2 weeks. It's really not even going to take a week. And then you'll look like you're ahead of schedule. But really that mindset should be more focused on showing value, like promise, what you exactly know you can do, so that at the very least you're going to meet expectations and then be able to over deliver so that you can exceed expectations and show people that you're worth your grain of salt. I don't necessarily think that's a life hack per se. That's just that's a phrase that you can try to follow, and you hear it all the time in business, and you hear it a lot in the military. When you're given tasks on your teams, under promise, over deliver. It doesn't do anything to make your life more efficient unless you take it for the lazy approach where someone says, hey, I need this document done. And you'd be like, okay, I'll get it to you by Friday, 2 weeks from now. And they're like, okay. And then you sit on it because you have 2 weeks to do it, even though it only takes an hour. That's the only way I could see it as a life hack. It gives you extra time to be lazy. But it is a good sort of mindset to follow overall, just so that people will see that you're valuable. But you have to follow it. You can't promise something and then you can't under promise, under deliver. You gotta over deliver, or at the very least deliver. So there you go. His final one. This is without a doubt for laziness. This is garbage. This is a pure trash life hack. Okay. You can argue that it might save time, but it's trashy. Okay. It's garbage. He said, brush your teeth in the shower after you finish your shower beer or coffee, depending on the time of day. First and foremost, shower beers were cool in college. And when you're on, when you're day drinking, you're trying to get drunk and you're trying to be silly and stupid, and you got to shower, you just keep drinking, you keep the party going. Like adults don't necessarily do that unless they know, like, this is my day, I'm going to be stupid and silly and have a shower beer. If you're doing that every day, like after work, you have a problem. Okay, you need to get help. Maybe it's a mental thing. Maybe you're depressed. And your life situation is not good, or maybe you're an alcoholic. Either way, those are serious issues and you need to get help, okay? You shouldn't be having casual shower beers every day and think that's okay. Like, that's not okay. That's a problem, okay? And you need help for that, and that's okay. Getting help is okay, all right? And if you need help with it, let me know, and we'll try to get you the help that you deserve, all right? Shower coffee's not a thing. It should never be a thing. Okay? Nobody's ever that in a pinch where they need to drink coffee in the shower. That sounds disgusting. Because you get shower water bouncing into your coffee, and usually the shower water is bouncing off of your dirty, greasy body, then into the coffee mug. It's just, no, don't do that. Okay? You shouldn't be drinking anything in the shower. Again, unless you're in college or you're having like one of those party days where you're getting drunk and silly, because alcohol in the shower, if you get water in your alcohol, it's alcohol. You're getting drunk, whatever. But otherwise, you shouldn't be drinking in the shower. Number 2 of this whole thing, brushing your teeth in the shower saves you maybe 47 seconds of your day, because you still have to prep the toothbrush with the toothpaste. That takes the same amount of time, whether you're going to do it in the shower or you're going to do it over the sink. And then you're just spitting like toothbrush spit on your foot, which is disgusting. And I know you're in a shower, it's clean, blah, blah, blah. People piss in the shower. I get it. But there is no reason to brush your teeth in the shower. That's a trash bag move. For whatever reason, peeing in the shower is less trash bagging than brushing your teeth in the shower. It just looks like more trailer park trash to brush your teeth in the shower than it does to pee in the shower. I don't know why, but it just does. So don't follow that. I wanted to mention it as a potential life hack. It's not. You're not saving any time. There's no real reason to do it. Just brush your teeth in the sink, like most people, and then go pee on your hands in the shower. That's what you do. All right. I think that's all I got for the comments and feedback. I'm trying to think of other, life hacks that I do. I try to do most of my life hacks consist of day before prepping, whether it's coffee. I use a French press because I don't have a coffee maker French press. I have a smaller one, so it's good for one person. And I'm not making coffee for a whole family because I am alone. So I don't really need to do much prep for that. My food, I do the bulk food cooking, crock potting, if you will. And what else do I do? Packing stuff, like if I have to pack for something, like the day before I left the hotel and checked out, I was packed the night before, so I could just wake up whenever and leave, not have to worry about anything. Same with work. I'll get my bag and stuff packed the day before. Everything is like the night prior, so that the next day I just have to wake up and go, get changed, put on clothes and go. That's it. So that's most of my life hack simplification stuff, efficiency things. Another reason I like doing that is because if I miss something, if I forget something, I have that extra time in that morning, the next day, to be able to remedy that, find whatever I lost, or do whatever I have to do to, like, oh, I forgot my phone charger, this and that, I'll have that time back now, as opposed to waiting until the day of, like a couple hours before I have to leave for a flight. I'm not sitting there packing and scrambling, because that gives me more of a likelihood I'm going to forget something I need. So I try to do it all ahead of time the night before. So those are just simple things that you can do. And I hope you learned something. These were pretty good ones. I didn't get a whole lot of feedback, but these life hacks that I got were certainly helpful. And the ones I don't do, I'm definitely going to do. The setting the goals thing, I know that's worked in the past for me, so I'm going to try to get that back on the docket so I can do that more often. So thank you guys for all those submissions. I appreciate it. Now, before we go, I had a hotline call, but I'm dealing with some audio stuff right now, and I don't have the ability to play the hotline on this episode. So I will play the call. And if you guys continue to make hotline calls, I'll play the calls once I get the audio stuff fixed. Hopefully that'll be the next episode. It'll be remedied and good to go. So I apologize for that, but I didn't forget about you. I know there's a hotline out there, at least one call. So thank you for that. And I'll get to you hopefully next episode. So, all right. Big three. For you new guys out there, the big three are the pillars of the LPDS, the foundations to staying strong and being a better, happier, more positive, good person, and spreading that goodness throughout the community, throughout the world. All right. Number one, exercise every day. Anything you got to do, getting the body moving, the calories burning, the chemical surging, so that you can be healthier and feel better physically, mentally, and emotionally. All right. Number two, it's the hardest one to do, but it's a simple concept. Just don't be a shitty person. All right. When the opportunity arises to be shitty, don't take that opportunity. That's all you got to do, is just omit yourself from that situation. When you see something on the internet that you want to post and be a shitty person about, or shit talk or trash on somebody that you don't like, even if they're not a good person, just don't do it. Okay? Just pull back. Take the LPDS step back and don't do it. Okay? You're by doing that, by taking the step back and not being a shitty person, you are cutting the negativity and the shittiness in half as opposed to doubling it. Okay? And by cutting the negativity in half, now there is half as much negativity in your world that you have to deal with, that you have to try to navigate through and fight off. Because the more negativity in the world for you, the harder it is to not be, to be a positive, happy person. You're going to be living in the negative. It's tough. It's tough to be positive and have a good outlook when you're living in the negative. So don't contribute to that shittiness by being a shitty person. Simple concept, right? All right. Number 3, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives. Because we got good lives. Most of us have really good lives. If you have the ability to listen to this show every week or watch it on YouTube's every week, likely you have a pretty damn good life. Okay? And we all have hardships and trials and tribulations we got to get through. And sometimes they're really shitty. And I get it. And it's tough. And I'm not saying that suck it up, buttercup, get over it. No, I get it. We have things to get through, shit to deal with. But that does not negate the good things you have in your lives. And you need to take the time each day to realize that and appreciate it and be grateful for it. Because you never know when it's going to be gone. Or that important person in your life, when you never know when they're going to be gone. Okay? And again, it's easy to just forget about it. Take it for granted. Oh, Joey, my best friend, he'll wake up tomorrow. I'll talk to him tomorrow. I'm not going to text him now. I'm not going to hang out with him now. I'll see him tomorrow. Look, odds are they're probably going to be around tomorrow for you to hang out with. Yeah. But if you have the time, go appreciate Joey. Go hang out with him. Thank him for being your friend. Show that appreciation to him. Be grateful for having people like Joey in your life or whatever it is. Okay? If you take the time and you think about it and be grateful and thankful for the good stuff, you'll appreciate it more, and you won't have to live with any of the potential regret when that stuff's not there anymore. And let me tell you something. The regret hurts far more than anything else. The regret of wishing you had more time with something or someone to do better by them and to appreciate them more hurts far more than anything else that you can deal with emotionally or mentally. So think about that before you take for granted, the good things you have in your life. And that's the big 3. You couple them all together. You follow those very simply every day. Even if you do one thing, you go for a walk, you see an Instagram post that you don't respond to publicly, you don't act shitty to that, and then you pick one thing in your life that you're grateful for. My dog, I'm happy I got old Randy here to be my road dog, my PIC right now. That's it. Big 3 done. And you do that the next day. And you just keep building up on that. And you follow that. And before you know it, you're going to live that better life. You're going to be happier. You're going to have a more fulfilling life, steeped in gratitude and positivity. And you're going to spread that goodness and happiness to the rest of the world. Because the goodness and happiness is just as contagious as the badness and shittiness. All right? So that's all I got. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Do all the how you doing. Tell your friends and enemies. Hit the notifications. Whatever you got to do to spread the good word, do that. I appreciate it. Hit the hotline, 202-670-1114, and we'll get the audio fixed and get your calls on the line here, and we'll have a good time. So thank you guys again. I love you all. Stay strong.